There is only so much you take away from the first week of training camp. These practices are mostly for install and getting everyone on the same page. The Dallas Cowboys won't throw the pads on until next week. That will allow for a more legitimate evaluation of player performance, but sometimes a player sticks out so much that it is worth getting excited about. That is the case with second-year defensive end Marshawn Kneeland, who is off to a roaring start in Oxnard. It was Kneeland who came away with the first interception of camp. He dropped into coverage in the flat and capitalized when Dak Prescott mistakenly tried to check down to Miles Sanders. He even showed some return chops, making multiple defenders miss before he was taken down. Hat tip to Nick Harris of the Fort Worth Star-Telegram for the video. Cowboys D. Marshawn Kneeland already making waves in training camp. Cowboys D. Marshawn Kneeland drops back in the flat and picks off Dak Prescott. That is one way to get the coaching staff's attention, but Kneeland wasn't done. Later in practice, he breezed past left tackle Tyler Guyton for a would-be sack. Defenders are not allowed to hit quarterbacks in camp, so Kneeland had to pull up. Regardless, 2 splash plays in a largely laid-back practice is a dream start for the 2024 second-round pick. Kneeland making a leap in year 2 would be massive for a Cowboys defense that could not stay healthy last season, Kneeland included. He suffered a partially torn lateral meniscus in Week 5 that required surgery, and he did not return until mid-November. He missed 6 games in total. While Kneeland showed some flashes when he was on the field, the injury really threw a wrench into his debut season. He recorded 11 pressures for quarterback hits and failed to notch a sack in 112 pass rush snaps, per PFF. He added 6 defensive stops and a pass defended. The Cowboys added more reinforcements to their DE room this offseason, using a second-round pick on Boston College star Donovan Ezeruaku and bringing back Dante Fowler in free agency. He'll also have to fend a former second-round pick Sam Williams, who is hungry to perform after a torn ACL suffered in camp last summer wiped out his 2024 season. Kneeland has become a dark horse. If his start to training camp is a sign of things to come, he will shed that label before long. The Dallas Cowboys have officially kicked off their 2025-26 season. Training camp got underway this week, and players are getting acclimated to their new team. That includes new head coach Brian Schottenheimer and new wide receiver George Pickens. Right now, a video of Pickens has fans erupting on social media. Breaking, Cowboys fans erupt over George Pickens' video at practice. By acquiring wide receiver George Pickens from the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Dallas Cowboys completed one of the most significant trades of the offseason. Following that trade, Cowboys Executive Vice President Stephen Jones said that the team does not view the former Steeler as a number 2 receiver. In reality, somebody will be number 1, and somebody will be number 2. In May, Cowboys star CeeDee Lamb quickly dispelled any lingering concerns about how he'd get along with his new running mate. "Now we both ones," Lamb said in an interview with DLLS Sports. One video of CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens pretty much shows you that the wideouts are going to be the best of friends. On Wednesday, the duo could be seen celebrating on the field. Last season, Pickens totaled 59 receptions for 900 yards and 3 touchdowns across 14 regular season games. A hamstring injury caused him to miss 3 games. Across his 3-year stint in Pittsburgh, Pickens averaged 58 receptions for 947 yards and 4 touchdowns per season. Lamb, a 4-time Pro Bowler, totaled 101 receptions for 1,194 yards and 6 touchdowns in 15 regular season games in 2024. On the first day of Dallas's training camp, CeeDee Lamb and newcomer George Pickens seemed to be getting along just fine ahead of their first season as teammates. The newest Dallas Cowboys wide receiver has an iconic pair in mind when thinking of Lamb: Mario and Luigi. Just different types of styles of play. A lot of people over the years got different styles of play, but CeeDee's a certain type of guy. Then I'm a certain type of guy. So, when you mesh that together, it's like Mario Brothers, Pickens said on Tuesday, according to NFL.com. "We definitely can do something special." For countless years, the Las Vegas Raiders have been an example of how not to do things in the NFL. Between countless coaching and general manager changes, poor choices in the draft, and wasted money in free agency, the franchise has had a tough go for the last 2 decades. This offseason, however, things took a dramatic turn. Enter Pete Carroll and John Spytek, Super Bowl winners in their respective fields, who come to Las Vegas as the most capable decision-making tandem that Raider Nation can remember. One of their first orders of business upon their arrival was extending star defensive end Max Crosby on a record-breaking 3-year deal worth up to $106.5 million. The team got out ahead of things and set the market themselves, which has made life difficult for other NFL teams. Micah Parsons wishes he was in Max Crosby's situation. Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones and star edge rusher Micah Parsons are in the midst of a brutal standoff when it comes to resolving his contract situation. On Tuesday, Parsons spoke out about the negotiations, and he name-dropped Crosby as a way to help his case. Some teams with guys like Max Crosby, it was like, man, they knew I was coming up and they just wanted to take care of him. And I just think, must be nice, Parsons said. Cowboys D. Micah Parsons and CB Trayvon Diggs gave an impromptu availability to give their own side of the front office's comments yesterday. Parsons on his deal. Some teams like Max Crosby with the Raiders knew they were coming up and they took care of them. Must be nice. It is new territory for the Raiders to be seen as the benchmark of competency, but this is the team's reality with Carroll and Spytek in charge. Defensive end contracts are now worth upwards of $41 million a year, but the team was able to lock Crosby in early at $35.5 million. Raiders should be licking their chops over what's unfolding in Chargers camp. This nearly $6 million difference is significant when one considers that this kind of money could pay for a starting-level player. It could also be used to sweeten the deal for a player that Las Vegas hopes to extend soon, like Colton Miller, Jacoby Myers, or Daniel Carlson. Parsons and the Cowboys seem wildly far apart in their talks, and Jones cannot help but badmouth his players to the media. Spytek would never be caught doing this, as he understands his role and seeks to take care of his players. Things were already looking up for the Raiders in 2025, but with each passing report, it seems like the future of the team is incredibly bright because of who they have in charge. Carroll and Spytek are operating differently in Las Vegas, and it's a good thing that they are.